You think cruising stopped being fun because prices went up, ships got crowded, and rules got stricter. You think the magic is gone. You're wrong. Cruising didn't lose its joy. Most people just stopped using it the right way. And if you keep cruising the way you used to, rushing bookings, boarding stressed, following the crowd, you won't just feel disappointed. You'll feel like cruising isn't worth it anymore. But if you follow this checklist in order, you'll rediscover the version of cruising that feels smooth, relaxing, exciting, and genuinely worth your time and money. This is the happy side of cruising, and it's still there if you know how to unlock it. Let's walk through it step by step. Phase 1. Reset your cruise before you even book. Choose the experience, not the ship action. Start by deciding what kind of feeling you want from the trip. Calm, social, adventurous, luxurious, before looking at ships. Why it matters. Most cruise frustration comes from expectation mismatch. People book a big, loud, activity-packed ship when they secretly wanted peace. If skipped, you end up overwhelmed instead of relaxed. Pro tip: smaller ships and longer itineraries often feel more a vacation-like, even if they're not the newest. Sail slightly off-peak action. Book shoulder season instead of peak holiday weeks. Why it matters. The difference between a joyful cruise and a stressful one is often crowd density. If skipped, you'll spend your vacation waiting in lines for pools, elevators, buffets, and shows. Insider detail: just 2 weeks before or after peak school holidays can reduce onboard crowd pressure dramatically, without changing the itinerary. Phase 2. Create a smooth start-arrive a day early action. Get to the port city 1 day before departure. Why it matters. A relaxed start sets the emotional tone for the entire cruise. If skipped, one delayed flight can turn excitement into panic and possibly missed boarding. Pro tip: people who start relaxed tend to enjoy the ship more because they aren't mentally recovering from travel stress. Yes, board later, not earlier action. Choose a mid to late boarding time. Why it matters. Early boarding often means sitting in crowded terminals and stepping into peak lunch chaos. If skipped, your first memory becomes noise and queues instead of calm exploration. Insider detail: boarding after the rush often means cabins are ready and public spaces feel calmer. Phase 3. Design your onboard happiness. Protect your morning's action. Avoid scheduling early activities every day. Why it matters. Cruises feel joyful when they feel unstructured. If skipped, you recreate your daily routine: alarms, rushing, and obligation. Pro tip: the ship is quietest early in the morning. Coffee on deck before crowds appear often becomes the most memorable part of the trip. Skip one, a must-do per day action. Intentionally leave something undone. Why it matters. Joy increases when pressure decreases. If skipped, you turn the cruise into a checklist instead of a vacation. Insider detail: many experienced cruisers say their best memories came from unplanned time, not scheduled events. Phase 4. Unlock the calm spaces. Find your hidden retreat on day 1 action. Walk the ship and locate one quiet area. Why it matters. Every ship has calm zones, but they're rarely advertised. If skipped, you'll default to crowded pool decks and assume the ship is always busy. Pro tip: look for observation lounges, aft decks, or shaded promenade areas. Little known fact: most guests never explore beyond the main social zones. Eat differently than the crowd action. Shift your dining time slightly earlier or later. Why it matters. Dining joy disappears in noisy peak hours. If skipped, you'll associate meals with waiting and noise. Insider detail: even a 30-minute shift can transform the atmosphere. Phase 5. Make ports feel better, not busy or do fewer excursions action. Choose quality over quantity in port days. Why it matters. Overpacking port days leads to exhaustion instead of excitement. If skipped, by day 4 you'll feel tired instead of inspired. Pro tip: one meaningful experience is more memorable than 3 rush stops. Return early once action. Head back to the ship early in at least 1 port. Why it matters. A half-empty ship feels like a private resort. If skipped, you miss one of the most peaceful experiences cruising offers. Insider detail: pools, lounges, and spas often feel luxurious when most passengers are ashore. Phase 6. Upgrade the emotional experience. Create a personal ritual on board action. Choose one daily habit. Sunset walk, evening dessert, late night tea. Why it matters. Rituals create emotional anchors that make the cruise feel special. If skipped, days blur together and feel less memorable. Pro tip: consistency builds anticipation, which increases enjoyment. Phase 7. Keep the joy until the end, ignore the last day rush action, spend your final day slowly. Why it matters. The emotional ending shapes how you remember the whole trip. If skipped, packing stress replaces final relaxation. Insider detail. Guests who treat the last day like a normal sea day report higher overall satisfaction. Traps to avoid: don't overschedule your days just because options exist. Don't chase every activity. Don't compare your cruise to someone else's online highlight reel. And don't assume bigger always means better. Sometimes the happiest cruises are the ones where you simply move slower, because the happy side of cruising isn't gone. It's just hidden behind habits most people don't realize they've formed. So here's what I'd love to know. What's one small moment on a past trip that made you feel genuinely relaxed?